episode of Socratic Gamers. Episode 14. Like you two. Uno, dos, tres, 14.
Hello.
New guest, housemate of Vish and girlfriend of myself. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So we were talking about God before the podcast. So what do you... So your question to me was, do you believe in God? And I was like, well, yes, I do. But it depends on what you mean by God. So I'd like to ask you first, what do you mean by God? Like, what, do you believe in God? Let me ask you that. Do you believe in God? Okay.
In terms of the whole God thing.
Well, do you...
I mean, obviously we were both raised Catholic, but both
Okay.
never really believed in that.
That's true. All right, let me ask you then, do you believe in a person, some sort of deity living up in the clouds?
No.
Okay, so then you don't believe in that kind of God.
I don't believe in a single person up in the clouds.
Okay.
And I definitely don't believe in hell.
Oh, interesting. You don't believe in hell. Why don't you believe in hell?
It just...
Believe in some dude that...
No,
you believe in demons?
because at what point does someone become a bad person?
Uh-huh.
Like, bad enough for them to go to hell?
Ooh, interesting. All right, so what does bad even mean? You know what's funny? I literally have these conversations with Sid and Vish all the time.
Yeah, we have this conversation
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure,
time.
for sure. No, but now I get to probe your mind on the podcast. So, what do you mean by hell? What do you mean by bad? What do you mean by bad?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's what I was saying, right? Like,
What is bad? Like, give me an example of you're like, you know what, that's pretty bad. I would...
who was shooting people, like that mass shooting that happened recently.
Okay.
Like, that's bad, but is that...
Why is that bad?
Because that's taking people's lives. That's destroying families. That causes so much pain. But at the same time, it's like, what is that guy going through for him to want to do that to people?
Okay.
Right? So it's like, I kind of feel like you must be ill
Okay.
for you to do something like that.
Okay.
So if he's that, mentally ill, and then he does something like that, does that make him a bad person or just a sick person?
True,
like just
true,
an
true.
ill person.
Let me...
So it's kind of like, where's that line with like good and bad?
For sure. I agree with you.
You
I agree
know?
with you. So let me ask you a better question then. Do you agree with colonialism?
Like like what do you mean?
Like, do you well, okay. So we had to have killed in order to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
So is that bad?
Okay, like, are you just talking about, like, are you just trying to understand my definition of bad? Is that why you're asking me?
No, because you said...
Or you were just, like, switching topics a
No,
little bit?
no. I never leave the topic. But,
Okay.
But when, unless the topic has died. But, so you said that the person in Las Vegas is bad because he killed all those people.
No, I didn't say that he's bad. I
Oh,
said,
he's not bad.
I just don't know.
What do you mean?
Because if someone, like, okay, my point was,
So then I asked you to give me a definition of what bad was, or an example, and you
like,
said the
I
person
think
in Vegas.
objectively, that person would be considered a bad person because of his actions.
Okay.
But I'm saying if you take a step back and you think about that,
Okay.
right, then that makes the good and bad debate a little fuzzy.
So there's no real good and bad.
That's what
until
I'm
you
saying. Like,
find
I just,
intention.
like, the reason, like, okay, bringing it back even more, like, the reason that I don't believe in hell or heaven, well, more specifically hell, because
Okay.
I just don't know where the distinction between good and bad is.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So, like, that's something that even from a young age, I just couldn't come to terms with. With the whole heaven, Jesus, God.
So then you're saying
whatever.
that there is no good or bad.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
But I think it's very hard to say what really makes a bad person.
Okay.
And all I'm saying is that that's why hell didn't make sense to me.
okay, yeah,
Because
for sure.
like where are the lines, right?
Yeah.
Like that,
I
I'm
understand.
not saying like maybe there's no good people, maybe there's no bad people. It's just in terms of this whole God discussion, I couldn't wrap my head around hell because of that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so then what you're essentially saying is that there is no good or bad because it's all about intention. So it's like I don't know.
Well, not even intention.
Okay,
Because
so
that man
mindset.
intended
Alright,
to
fine,
kill
fine.
those people.
Alright, mindset.
Mindset.
So what's the differentiator?
Well, like because I don't think mindset has to do with having a mental illness.
Okay, so you think
That's
that
not
he has a mental
mindset.
illness. So then would you say that everyone in the army right now fighting for freedom, quote unquote, has a mental illness? Is that what you're distinguishing as?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know those people, and I'm not a doctor. Like, I can't make that call. But I think, and also the reasons that they're out there are different, right?
What do you
like,
mean? That's what I'm saying. That's why it boils down to intention. So it's like the person intended to kill those people because we don't know why. He could have been upset, or you can kill people.
Could have been upset.
Could have been upset.
So casual.
Or yeah. Well, I'm just observing it as like a math problem. I'm not like trying to.
You're not attaching. Okay.
No, I'm not attaching to it. So he could have been upset, or if you look at it from the perspective of the soldier who's just doing their duty or fighting for freedom. So like at the end of the day, death is death, killing is killing. It's about your choice of why you kill, your intention. That's why I said it was your intention. Would you agree?
I guess part of it, yeah.
Okay, what's the other part then?
Like, I don't know. I just think that, I don't know. Let's just move on. This is just like a difficult, it's like it's so
Dimensional?
Yeah,
All
and
right,
like we just like.
So that's why I boil it down to intention. So it's like.
But are you including like mental illnesses in intention?
No. Well, it's all a mental illness. Anything that people, all life is a form of pathology. I used to word this, say like psychoses, but like that's not the right word. It's more of a pathology. It's like what you think creates your action, right? So it's like maybe the person didn't actually have a mental illness. Maybe he was doing it because he believed that we were a highly capitalist society because it was done at a concert in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Both very highly materialistic things, right? So maybe he was fighting against materialism, capitalism. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe,
Right.
but I mean,
And in that case, it's like you're fighting against the same things that you believe in as the soldier. Well, actually, it's
I don't
actually
know.
better than the soldier because
I mean,
the soldier
I-
might not even believe in it.
I don't really want to speak for soldiers. I think that's like a really
Uh-huh.
difficult topic. And
Soldiers?
yeah, and I just don't have any experience with them or their mindset. Like, the only thing I can talk about is my feelings towards being a good or bad person.
Okay,
Right?
and-
And that's the only thing I can speak for. I don't want to talk about soldiers and what they might be feeling
Yeah,
or mental illnesses
for
because
sure.
I feel like I have no experience with that. So it's a
Agreed.
disservice
Agreed.
to talk about
all,
that.
All of those things ultimately come down to perspective. That's why I said it was like perspective. It's like your perspective is it's evil, so you wouldn't do it. From their perspective, it's not evil, so they would do it.
Okay. Next
Right.
topic.
All right. How do you feel about? Well, because we're doing like drug supplies right now.
Oh my god.
How do you feel about this upcoming cannabinoid
Legalization.
legalization? The new.
I guess I'm curious to see what happens.
Ultimately. Okay, no. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Adults should be allowed to do as they please
Okay.
with their own body.
Uh-huh.
So I do think that it should be legal.
Okay.
But I'm curious to see exactly how they're going to regulate it, especially in terms of driving. Like
Oh,
you
for
can
sure,
test
yeah.
for alcohol,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
can you test for weed? I don't know.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
So that's going to be kind of interesting to see.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see like how it works, and I don't know. Like,
Well-
will you be allowed to like smoke weed in restaurants? Like you can drink in restaurants. Like,
that'll
do
be
they need like
interesting.
and are they going to start doing like desserts like weed brownies
You never know.
because they serve alcohol, right?
That's true.
So I don't know. I just kind of I'm like very curious to see how it's going to play out. And I think that it's probably a good thing to regulate it because it's so prevalent, right?
For sure.
So like, let's regulate it and let's make it safe.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that, I mean, alcohol is regulated, but it's not safe, right?
Right, yeah.
And, you know, so, I mean, do we trust that? I don't know, but anyway, it'll be interesting to see like how government regulation plays into this.
For sure.
You know, changes the game.
Ultimately, the real problem here with prohibition, because that's what it is, prohibition, is it's similar to like the times of like Al Capone, and you had like all these gangsters building up like territories in which they would have like a black market deal, right? They're building their own economy outside of established society, right? So like that allows for more death, you know, but like if you legalize it, it creates a more even playing field from which people, like the average consumer, can make a living or enjoy off of, right? Because like the only reason why these gangsters, quote unquote, are like so negative is because it's illegal. As soon as you decriminalize something or like make it legal, then like who's going to jail? Who needs like a limited supply? It's like there'll be like millions of like pot dealers. You know, you're not fighting for territory anymore. Whereas like before,
what do you mean there's going to be millions of pot dealers?
It's going to be like LCBO, right? So
Yeah.
it's like before you had like Al Capone, who would be the only one. So when you have a limited supply, you create higher demand, right? Because there's only, so then,
Which is the case now.
which is the case, yeah. So then if you have more supply, you create, like you regulate the demand, right? But what people profit off of is who's the supplier. So Al Capone, in order to make the most money, because there was no government stepping in, he would kill off all of his competitors.
Okay.
Right? And that creates that creates more death, right? But as soon as you legalize it and then you offer up the ability for average Joe to open up their own weed store, then
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
I don't think
well,
that's
why
what
would you
they're
go
doing.
to? They're not legalizing it?
What?
What do you mean?
Of course they are, but
Of course, so what do you
No,
what are you
but from what I've seen, and maybe this is wrong, but like in Ontario, it's just the LCBO
Yeah.
that's allowed to carry marijuana.
Okay, but
it's not the average Joe.
For sure. No, but what I'm saying is like the average Joe will have the ability to
grow it.
No, not to grow it. Well, yeah, they did say you can grow it. But like with the LCBO, it's like now I could work for LCBO. Now I could purchase my own LCBO. Now I could franchise, et cetera, right? It's like it gives the opportunity for people to make a living off of it. Whereas before, like only the gangsters, quote unquote, could make a living off of it.
I guess so.
So like that creates less tension in society, I guess.
Yeah, but like
Because it's like more open. So
yeah, but I wonder how many gang issues revolve around weed.
Oh, 100%.
Like no, but I'm
all
saying
drugs. No, it's not even weed. It's
right.
drugs.
I like maybe like more like hardcore.
The only thing that gangs make money off of, and I personally know, allegedly, I don't really know. Actually, I don't want to go to court. I know certain people growing up in Scarborough and stuff like. No. I mean, like going to the high schools and stuff. Of course, you.
Shout out to Scarborough.
No. I'm saying, of course, you know people who are like, well, allegedly drug dealers. We don't know for sure.
Okay,
I mean, like,
you
they
can
have
say that. You could say that. Like no one's gonna come after
activity.
you.
Well, but you know, what I'm saying
Okay.
so like you see things, right? And what is their main commodity? Drugs. Their
Right,
main
but
commodity is not protection. You know, like the only thing that you can sell aside from illegal contraband is protection. That's what Al Capone would do. It's
Yeah.
like either you pay for, that's what mafia would do. But mafia even realized like how silly it is to, why would you focus on like nickel and diming on the street corner? Why don't you just enter into like bigger business? You know, in Japan, that the higher up, the higher up organized criminal organizations, they've infiltrated financial sectors.
Yeah.
And they don't even deal with petty crime anymore because it's like, well, why would allegedly that's also why it's really safe there, because like the mobsters are keeping an eye on their underlings, because it's like, why are we making nickel and dimes? Like, who cares about a dime bag? Like, we're gonna make real money in the stock market. Yeah. Yep. So what so are you just gonna shoot up next topic?
Oh, okay.
No, is that what were you gonna say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that
What's the next topic?
that's all you feel? That's all you feel?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Oh, okay, because it kind
Yeah.
of looked like you were like thinking about something. So I was like, I don't know if you want to jump in there. Or...
No, I'm like, should I bring up another topic? What should I say?
Just say whatever you want, whatever comes to mind. These aren't really pre-programmed conversations.
I know.
It's usually just what we're thinking at the time. And usually one topic spawns into the next topic.
Oh.
But if you'd like me to generate a new topic, tell me about health. Because you're
Tell you about health? So broad.
Yeah, explain the ketogenic diet from your perspective to me, because I know that you're really into that because of your studies now.
So I'm currently studying nutrition. Just started, really.
Okay.
About a month ago. But something that I've been looking into recently and have been interested in is the ketogenic diet.
Okay, why?
So basically what that is, it's like a high fat diet, low carbohydrate diet. And the reason that I'm interested in it is because after learning a bit more about carbohydrates, so basically carbohydrates are a wide range of foods. So they're baked goods, they're all types of vegetables, they're fruits. So if it's not a fat or a protein, it's a carbohydrate.
Okay.
So it's really a huge range of foods that that most people consume, all the time. But the problem with carbohydrates is that it gets broken down into glucose in the body. And glucose is what our cells are fueled by. So essentially our brain runs on glucose. Okay. Which is fine. And also, so if we are consuming a lot of carbohydrates also get stored as fat in the body, which creates weight gain. Okay. Which is not something I'm concerned about right now, but still, it's interesting that that's a result of carbohydrates. And also carbohydrates, so again, it breaks down into sugar. So all carbohydrates, all of those things I mentioned, become sugar in the body. And sugar leads to a lot of inflammation in the body. Okay. It's been linked to Alzheimer's, definitely type 2 diabetes. In fact, a huge range of health issues, which is something I'm concerned about. Sugar? No, we don't need sugar. So another thing, something that I think is really interesting is we looked at the 3 macronutrients, which are proteins, fats, and carbs. Okay. And there are essential amino acids, which are proteins, which means that they're amino acids that the body doesn't make. Okay. So we need to get them from food. So there's some that are essential, which means to have a healthy diet, we need to be consuming protein. Okay. And then there's essential fatty acids as well, which means that we need to be consuming fat in order to get these fatty acids in our body. Okay. Because they have an essential role in the body. But there's no essential carbohydrates. Okay. So I find that really interesting, that you need protein to survive and thrive, and you need fats, but you don't need carbohydrates.
At all?
No.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Not that I know of.
You don't need carbs? But I mean, essentially everything's got a carb, right? What do you mean? Like lettuce has got carbs.
Yeah, so vegetables are carbohydrates, and you do. So obviously you need vegetables.
Are we saying like refined carbohydrates?
No, even especially refined carbohydrates. But I think vegetables are very important to eat. But vegetables, so I'm not really vegetables. I'm not really talking about, because vegetables you do need, because they have vitamins and minerals within vegetables that you do need to maintain a healthy diet. So I'm talking more about, so that's a different reason that you need them. But in terms of carbohydrates as a whole, and especially refined carbohydrates, so all carbohydrates that aren't fruits and vegetables, you don't need.
Okay.
Like bread, you don't need bread.
Oh, really?
Which I think everyone kind of knows now.
It's kind of interesting that like the first we call this the first food group, the food pyramid.
Yeah.
The first one we were taught in school was like you need
Grains.
grains is number
Yeah.
one, then it's like vegetables, then it's like meat and stuff, and then
Yeah. So they are changing that.
Okay, so then why was it incorrect in the first place?
So I think it's really important to look at, with things like that, you have to look at where the funding's coming from.
Okay.
And the funding is coming from large corporations
Okay.
who have a monopoly over the food market, right?
Okay.
So they're getting, that's like dairy farmers, because dairy is also a food group.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
exactly.
it doesn't need to be a food
So then,
group.
are you suggesting we should trust nothing that we see?
No, I'm just saying it's very important to think critically about what you see.
That's
So
true.
when you see something that's put out by anyone, or any corporation really, no, just, I mean, anyone in general, just always look at, like, where is this coming from, and read the studies, and try to understand what the motivation is for writing that.
That's
like, is
interesting.
this person paid by the dairy farmers of Canada?
Yeah, I see.
You
what
know,
you're
like, that's very important to look at, because money rules, right?
For
So
sure.
it's important to look at that stuff.
Have you ever heard of Ron Wiseman? I can't remember his name, but he was the guy that does like farm, like he does like sustainability on like suburban grass. It's like he'll create gardens. It's like the hood gardening guy. Ron
Gorilla.
Feldley, whatever. Yeah, Ron Finley. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Ron Finley.
Yeah, I
That's
learned
so
about
good.
this in my undergrad.
All right, cool. So that guy. So it's interesting that
Guerrilla gardening.
Gorilla Gardening.
Yeah.
So it's interesting with that because it's like he was a big proponent of education and stuff, and so are you. But it's like, how can somebody who can't even afford a computer read the studies? How can somebody who doesn't even understand literacy very well, like read the studies? You know what I mean? It's kind
Like,
of like,
do you mean kids or?
no, just like
Okay.
the lower socioeconomic
okay.
class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one thing to say like to be critical, but like I guess ultimately what the government's supposed to do is like keep you in check,
Yeah, totally.
like to keep
they
accountability.
should
and
be a
stuff.
body that we trust.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like more and more they're not.
So then could we even what do you call this? Can we even like think critically? Because it's like it's fine for us to think critically, but are people of a lower socioeconomic class even able to think critically?
I think they're able to think critically. They may not have the tools to get the information that they need, but I think they have the ability.
So then
I think it starts with just questioning, right?
For sure,
And
for
there's definitely lots of library books and things that you could check out, read up on, and sort of just form your own opinion. And if it's something to do with science, then read a bunch of books about it.
For sure.
You know?
So agreed. Yeah, libraries.
Like
free.
everyone has access to the library.
But what
That's
about,
a free resource.
For sure. What about cost? What about cost for, like, let's say they read it in the library and like, oh, you should actually be eating this, and it's like, ooh, but bananas is
So
$2 for a small.
Of course, and this is I think this is a huge barrier, and it's actually something that I'm really passionate about. And I don't know do you remember me talking about this when I was in my undergrad? And I was
No.
like so fed up because it's like you can buy
Oh yeah, I
a
remember
huge
this.
bag.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah,
mad
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. You could buy a huge bag of chips for $1.
The chips taste good though.
No, that's not my point.
just
You could
kidding,
buy
I'm
a
just kidding.
huge bag of chips for $1.
Yeah.
Or you could buy an apple for $1.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And like to someone who is less fortunate, why not buy the chips and feed your family?
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, whoops, man, I keep doing that. Sorry.
So
No, we're still on.
we're
air.
fine.
I
Okay.
keep on messing up.
Okay. So that's something that I find really, really frustrating. And that has to do with subsidies, right? So the government subsidizes crappy food. And it's very unfortunate, right? It's very unfortunate. But at the same time, and I mean, I don't want to speak for other people. Like, I'm like someone who's of a lower socioeconomic class. They might have a million things going on, and just grabbing the bag of chips is easy and whatever. But also, like, I could make a very cheap meal for us that's nutritious and tastes good.
Okay.
Because, like, there is a way to eat cheap, to eat well on a budget. But it depends how much time you have. If you're able to cook that meal in between, like, I just can't even imagine having kids. And I just, having the time to take care of children just seems like that would be a huge full-time job.
For sure.
And if you're working as well, I don't know. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it is possible to make healthy meals on a budget.
Okay. But it's right. And it's also possible to, like, study up on what you need to critically think. But it's like, we're such at a disservice in society for these people who can't even access it. It's like, I almost feel like you're given the tools. You're kind of just given a spot in life, and it's up to you to change that however you want. You know what I mean? But, like, it's okay if you can't get out of it. You know? Yeah.
No, what do you mean?
Because, like, so, like, although we can, like, I've kind of given up on like judging. No, I'm not saying I'm judging, but, like, I've kind of given up on, like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're judging, but I've kind of given up on, like, trying to alleviate or, like, prescribe anything except for what I can do, because, like, I kind of feel like that anything that I would recommend, it's up to the person and their environment to have those things done. So it's like, yes, like, you suggested critically thinking and studying up on that, right? And, like, that was your propensity, because, like, you were like, oh, okay, like, let me find out for myself, right? But what if that's not even an option in your head? You know, you're not even thinking, oh, maybe I'm not even eating correctly.
Right, but, you know? But I'm not even talking about those people. Like, if you don't care about what you're eating, then, like,
for
okay.
Sure, yeah. No, totally. But it's like,
like, I have no problem with you if you don't care about that. But I'm saying for the people who do care.
Yeah, no, totally,
right?
totally. But it's like they're also in like a less than favorable situation.
Right.
know?
I mean, I don't want to speak for them, and I don't know what that feels like. I don't know that situation. Like, maybe they just don't even have the time to even think about what they're eating. Or
yeah, totally. Or even
and that's fine.
Or even
but I feel like that's where the government should be playing a role.
For sure. But unfortunately, we live in a society, or like a
it is unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and it's sad, because I think that the government should be doing a better job
for sure.
of especially food. Like, I feel like the things that I'm learning in school right now would be so beneficial to teach in elementary schools to kids.
Actually, that makes, you know what? All right, so this brings up another topic. So, like, I actually agree with what you're saying, because, like, now that we've spoken about it, it's like, what are the basic necessities for being human? Food, water, shelter.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, so basically what my predicament is we were talking about this before with, like, vision stuff. It's like, can you do something altruistically, right? And like from that perspective, it's like, on the hierarchy of needs, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's like at the base of it, it's like food, water, shelter, and then self-actualizations at the end. So I feel like when you focus on things that you want to be altruistic about, like food, water, shelter wise, like, it's a great calling, you know, that is something worthy of being altruistic about, you know. But we have, like, different things in society that we're, like, spending money on that we don't actually think, that I actually don't think are even worthwhile, you know. It's like, yeah, sure, like, education for kids, blah, 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 and, like, after school play programs and stuff, but, like, what the government should be subsidizing is, like, food, water, shelter, Those are the real basic necessities. Who cares if you're having fun? You just give a kid a piece of paper. Or I remember when I got like a box, and then I would just play with the box, and I was like, oh man, this is so sick. You know what I mean? It's like, it's up to the individual, but what you can't substitute is food, water, shelter.
Yeah, isn't it funny to think about childhood without technology?
Well, I grew up in it, so I
No,
don't
I didn't.
know. I did.
No, not when we were kids.
No, 100%. No technology.
Right, yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I see. Well,
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
No, I said, isn't it... Wait, did I say that wrong?
No, I thought you were saying like without technology. I'm like, but I grew up without technology.
Yeah, I know. It's like, isn't it interesting to think about childhood without technology? Like
Oh,
how
I
we
see,
grew
I
up
see. Yeah, of course,
without
yeah,
technology.
totally.
Like
Yeah.
I remember like playing under tables and
Yeah,
pretending
exactly.
it was my secret lair.
We have.
It's like kids don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
They're
yeah.
like glued to that screen.
I mean, but at the same time, like, you ever hear the VR bodysuits?
No.
No. So like, you put on a bodysuit, and then you can play like a VR game, and then like you get like shot, and then like you'll get tased a little bit by the bodysuit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I was a kid and I had that option, I'd be like, that's pretty sweet. Like,
Of
it'd be
course,
very
yeah.
difficult to.
I mean, I'm not faulting children here.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like as a kid, you're just like, what's the most fun?
Exactly.
Right? Like
So
you're
it's
not critically thinking.
exactly.
But I
You're just
think
in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, and I guess like this right now, this is the first generation of kids
For sure.
who are really like from birth growing up with technology.
For sure, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be so fascinating to see when they become adults how that has impacted their socialization. I was telling you before that I was reading this study. It wasn't a study. It was this like this lady. She was like wrote an essay about it, and she studies like technology and communication. And she was in contact with some teachers at a school, and the teachers were saying that the kids aren't socializing as well as kids used to. Like they're socializing at a level that's that should be far beneath them.
Okay.
And it's because of technology. They know how to do every little thing on an iPhone, but they don't know how to interact. They don't know how to play with each other.
Socialization, yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
just socialization as a whole. They're lacking that. And I thought that was so interesting. And I think that'll be really interesting to see when those kids become adults. And
Totally.
to see like how does that I don't know, because you know, on the other side, kids that grow up with all that technology are probably going to be like amazing at technology
It's
as
kinda
adults.
It's kind of like it's like sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, you know? It's like if we fault on it, then they're going to fall behind. But if we let them be obsessive about it, then they're going to fall behind, you know what I'm saying? So it's like ultimately it's all about balance.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
how
Like
do
I
you-
just wonder if like when they grow up we'll have like a bunch more like Elon Musks
maybe.
who are like super smart because they grew up with all this technology.
And then what about the underprivileged kids who couldn't afford the technology?
Then they're like everybody else.
So
I don't know. Then they're like us.
So then we're just gonna have like a big inequality gap, even more.
Maybe, or
Not even monetarily, but educationally as well. Now
maybe. Who knows?
there'll be a technology illiteracy gap.
Probably.
Not to diverge from this topic, but you've actually inspired me
Oh.
from this conversation, because I was like, I was so against altruism. I'm like, man, it's not real. Like, there's no point. Blah blah. Blah. Like, what's the point of? Oh no, don't die. Oh god, I lost my bike. Sad life. Oh, okay, that just happened. Anyways,
That was cool before you died, though.
Yeah, I just lost my bike. I gotta pay for that again. Anyways, so
Aren't you like a millionaire on this thing?
no, that's fish.
Oh.
Okay, so you've actually inspired me in a way that's like, I figured out what the only point of I figured out a lot of things. I know. That's why you're laughing. I know.
Okay, can I just explain why this is funny?
Sure.
So, at least 3 times a day, BJ says, I figured it out.
Yeah, because
I had a revelation.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
yeah. I'm
Vish,
like,
Vish can attest to this.
Yeah, I'm-
Vish, if you're listening, I hope you're giggling.
I'm a revelatory baby. That's what I am. Anyways, so you've really inspired me and like made me realize something, and that is that the only altruistic endeavors that I actually support, that I would actually give money to, because I was like, there's a lot of like BS out there. There's like a lot of unimportant charities. But unless you're providing food, water, or shelter for someone, then it's not worth my time or effort.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like unwittingly, I was already like a proponent of this because of Waves for Water, that surfer thing, where like I love their philosophy. It's like live your life and do good along the way, or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So like, what I like about it is that it's like it's not trying to make you go out of your comfort zone or like shame you. It's just like if you can help.
Yeah.
And what is their primary offering? Water, food, water, shelter.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And like I feel like people should realize that things like after school programs, although it's great, unless you're providing food, water, shelter, it's like, well, you're just providing self-actualization. But you can
I don't know if I agree with that, because are you talking like after school programs?
I don't mean like that. I mean like
it is providing shelter because a lot of parents have to work.
Okay,
right?
touche. If you look at it like that. But what about I don't know, what are some charities that I don't actually believe in? Well, actually, okay, a good charity. A good example of charity. Missionaries. Do you know what a missionary is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not food, water, shelter. That's religious belief. That's self-actualization. So it's like you're actually colonializing people and putting the front as a charity. That's more like a
I guess so.
It's like more like pushing your beliefs onto somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel qualified to talk about this.
No, it's just an opinion. I mean, like,
yeah,
I think
I don't know, but probably to the people who are preaching that's what they believe is most important.
For sure, but what I'm saying is like I don't feel like anything that's outside of food, water, shelter should be focused on as a charity.
I guess.
As a charity.
But can you fault those people if they think that is the best way to live? If they think that if God is their food, water, shelter, can you fault them?
No, because it's all pathology. Like I said, it's what you believe in. So we're all pathological in some way. So me even saying food, water, shelter, well, the person can be like, well, that's such a dick move. And it's like, well, that's my pathology. I prefer to focus on things that I believe matter the most. And I don't think that things like entertainment or food or self-actualization are important at all. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Inclusivity, acceptance. That's just more of like bad parent, like, no offense, but like bad, like,
that's so rude.
Bad, like, I don't know how to say this politely, but like bad parenting. It's like, it's like,
I don't know how to say this politely. Let me repeat the rude thing I just said.
Well, I mean, like it. I don't think that you should support that kind of thing charity wise. It's like that doesn't really make sense to me.
I don't know. I mean, I do think food, water, shelter, but I think that there's other things that are probably good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But the most pressing thing is food, water, shelter.
Yeah.
And if you want to fund a charity, it would be like subsidize these people's food to get good food.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's
yeah.
like, because it all starts with food, right? Yoga begins in the kitchen, and well, yoga is just like life, right? So like if we take it into account like that, it's like you can't even think properly if your food's not correct.
It's actually true.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know that.
Yeah.
If you look at like homeless people and all they're eating is like Coke all day, it's like, well, you should just get a job, homeless man. Well, it's like, yeah, I can't even think right now.
Yeah.
Because my blood sugar's off. I'm probably a diabetic and a homeless person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like freaking just subsidize people's food and then they'll think more clearly.
Yeah. Totally.
But you know what it is? Nobody's actually, these are more like progressive thoughts, right? They're like, you're thinking outside of the box to make life better. But like conservative and libertarian, it's not progressive. Right,
but
it's
I think
about sustaining.
Oh, like to add to that, it's also like.
Can I just make a quick pause? I love how all of the podcasts always somehow divert back to like government or like outlook on life. because it's all it's really about. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, like where else could it go?
I don't know. Well, we try to talk about movies sometimes, but
Oh.
yeah. Anyway, so you're saying
What was I saying?
about how
Oh, yeah, okay,
oppressive
so-
the government is?
How what?
Oppressive the government
No,
is?
I wasn't saying
I know,
that.
I'm just kidding.
This game is so distracting.
Oh yeah, well,
I'm like not used to it. It's too much stimulus.
that's funny because like without it's like people who like draw when they talk. I need to play a game.
Really? I'm like,
for
oh,
sure.
I wish we could just talk.
Well, I mean, at the same time,
But
it's
we're
like
Socratic gamers.
exactly. That's the theme. Well, it's because all right. So the whole premise behind Socratic gamers is this: is what we did as children. We literally play video games, and then we just have conversations. And then I decided like, why don't we just record this? Like this would be so much easier because we talk about a lot of cool stuff. Or we go on walks too. But I mean, we can't really record a walk. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I guess we could.
Yeah, you
we could
could.
lapel mic ourselves, but that might be a little awkward.
Yeah, that could be weird.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're
so
saying-
anyways, I think like what we're talking about in terms of like the government should just subsidize
Mm-hmm.
food, water, shelter. Yes, and I feel like it's so easy for us to say that, but there are so many barriers.
for sure.
So many barriers.
All right, so
yeah.
let me interject. Although I say that as like that is the ideal, hence idealism. It's like you're holding it to the highest account, right? So it's too bad that the podcast. So earlier today we tried to stream a podcast on Twitch, but I didn't have save on. So like, we had a great conversation, but this is basically what we talked about. Like what you're about to say is like, so actually it's great because now I get to bring the topic up again. So the only way to change a government structure is to start from scratch. Yes. How are you gonna change it? So all right, let me give you a better question. I personally believe in small governments. So within a 50-mile radius, I think that you should vote on laws that are affecting you within that area. And each 50-mile radius, they'll change the laws, the importance of the law according to each.
That sounds extremely hard to manage.
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be like there's no. So Sydney was asking me like he's like, oh, what about party leaders? I'm like, no, there'd be no party leaders. It would just be you'd vote. It would be like here are the laws. You click which one you like.
I kind of think,
And then the majority vote will win.
I think that sounds better, but I think there's always going to be problems
Okay.
when you have a group of people deciding what to do.
Agreed. When there's no face to the problem, yes, that will happen. If you look at somebody face to face and you're like, I'm going to do this to you, it's really difficult to do that unless you're able to like compartmentalize and like you're so self-centered that you can't even think about another person, zero empathy. That's when that'll happen. So that's what I was saying to Sid. It's like, why would I, right now we live in North York, Sydney lives in Port Union, and it's like, why would I vote on any laws that would affect him? I'm like,
But that's
the way
still
we live is
relatively
completely-
close to here
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think small governments are the way to go.
with no leader.
No leader.
I
No.
think there needs to be a leader.
There are people in charge who are going to enforce the laws that we decide upon, but there's no like leader because the leader is the people. So it's
I
like
don't
the
know. I
voting.
just see problems with that too.
Okay, well, irregardless, do you think it's better than the system that we have in place now?
I don't know because we
Does
don't
it
know that
sound-
system.
All right, does it sound better? Does it sound better? Does it sound more favorable? The point isn't about the government system. That's my own pathology. What I'm saying is that it's like, do you think that that is more better than what we have now, even the slightest? Okay, think of your most perfect
You're so cute.
government structure, and then be like, okay, like whatever you think is going to be better than what's going on right now. Just think about it, okay?
Okay.
That's not my point. We're getting hung up on the fact that you won't agree if it's good or
No,
not.
why do you want me to agree?
You can say no. So that's what I'm saying. I just
think-
need an example where it's like
No. Okay, this
okay.
is what I think.
Okay.
So I think that a leader is important.
Okay, great. So we'll have a leader in your
Yeah.
friggin'
Also,
thing.
I
Yeah,
think
okay.
that it's important to have a small council.
Okay, sure. Whatever.
Wait, let me explain what I think.
All right, fine. It's
So-
not the point though that I'm gonna
I know,
say
but
that.
we're moving on here.
Okay.
So I think it's important to have a council of people who are very knowledgeable.
Ooh, a council of elders like Joe Rogan says.
Yeah, sure. About so maybe if everyone votes on what they think are the most important issues,
Okay.
and then you have like a group of people who know most about those issues.
Just like what we have now.
No, because it doesn't. It's
Just kidding.
No, like I think the problem is that it's so. There's so many interests,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
that's
it's
the
not like
Mhm.
it's and also like people that want to be in charge maybe aren't the best people to be in charge.
Agreed.
So it's like I just don't know.
Okay, so
But I think we need some experts up there.
okay, great. So we have an expert government, et cetera, et cetera. We have whatever
Small
it is.
expert government.
Okay, so that's your ideal. All right, if that were to be put into place, what would need to be done? This is my real point.
What do you mean? What would need to
In
be
order
done?
to get that established, because that's basically rejigging the system,
Yeah.
right? So in order to rejig the system, do you know what would need to be done? You'd have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot. Yeah.
You'd have to start a lot. Yeah, you'd have to basically give up whatever it is that you believed before.
You'd
in
have to
order-
rewrite all the laws.
Exactly.
You would would the Supreme Court still approve the laws?
All right. Well, whatever. All right. So given that, do you know the only time that ever happened in history?
No. When?
America.
When?
When Christopher Columbus and his people.
So like the beginning of time.
Exactly, because that's what they did. They were from Britain
Yeah.
initially. All society is like it's an evolution from Rome. Then from Rome they went to Britain, and then from Britain they went to America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just say, I just don't think that it's possible at this point to change the government system.
Good. And my point is that it is impossible to change the government
Yeah.
system. So that's why
Because
you can only
also,
live
like-
with what you have, and that's why I said I gave up on trying to change anything, because it's like you're really in it unless you want to shake up the world so much. But then you know what's going to happen in the end. So all right, let me just go back to this. So they went to America, quote unquote, which was filled with natives, and then they basically kicked them out, and then they created their own government. And the founding fathers were like, you know what would be the best laws? The best laws would be this. Ultimately, they didn't have technology at the time, but they created the best quote-unquote government that they could think of. So even if we somehow make the best government that me or you could ever think of, and then they end up creating that society with technology in mind, you'd have to tear down what you had before.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to happen? It's going to get corrupt, and you're going to have to tear down, or not even corrupt, it's just going to get outdated. And you have to tear it down again and then bring it back up. But do you know how many people want to do that? Zero.
Yeah. And also the people that would have to approve this are the people in power.
Unless you do
So-
exactly, unless you do like the people in the beginning of America, and then you go to America and then you fight for your freedom. When Great Britain fought America,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like, so that's why if you look at the futility, if you look at the futility on a societal scale, it's like what's the point? Not from a nihilistic perspective, but from an accepted perspective, where you're like, okay, there's no point in changing anything except for creating the life that I want to live within these parameters. You know what I mean? And then even more futility is looking at your life in relation to the planet of Earth. It's been around for 4 billion years. How long do we live? Like 72 years? We're like a fly.
Yeah.
We're like not even important to the Earth. So
Yeah.
it's like, why get caught up in the small things and just live? Them will never eat the lion. I said this before, but the lamb will never eat the lion, no matter how much the lamb.
Wait, didn't you say on the last podcast, unless the lion is dead?
Yeah, unless a hunter shoots the lion and the lamb's like, oh sweet, I get to eat this now.
Oh, free meat.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's like a luck of circumstance. But
No,
like,
that was. I thought that was funny when you said it in the last one.
thanks. I'm funny. Yes. So, but like, given that, what I'm saying is like, all we can really do in life, if you're listening, is just accept where you are and build the life that you want, given the surroundings you can. Do you want to be Shaq? Too bad. Do you want to be?
No, I disagree.
Oh, you think you'd be Shaq? You can be Shaq.
Yeah.
Hide-
No, okay,
hide-
I think
Shaq,
it's a combination.
Shaq is a 7-foot tall black
It's
man.
Wait, oh, you mean me personally?
That's what I'm saying. So you can't be Shaq. You can't be something other than you're not. That's
Oh
the
no,
deal.
okay. I
That's what
didn't
I'm
think
saying.
you meant like a actual person.
No.
I thought you meant like his skill, like his. Wait, do you mean him or like
Both him and his skill. That's why we
if
have.
you work really hard?
That's why we have the Olympics.
What?
You know how many people believe and work really, really hard in the Olympics? and there's only one gold place trophy. So it's like even in that, it's like you're not going to get what you want, but you can get who you are. So like that's why the great Osho teaching is like, stop trying to be everyone else, be yourself. Actually, Kurt Cobain, I think he's the one who said that. Kurt Cobain. Yeah. But anyways, but like if you think of it in that terms, it's like, well, then there's nothing to win or lose from. You're just being yourself, being authentic, and that's why it's so important to be authentic. Because the second you try to be something else, then you're caught in the race. I want to be Shaq. Okay, but you're not Shaq. No, one day if I study really hard, I'll be Shaq. But he's 7 foot tall and black.
Yeah, I mean, you can aspire to be.
Oh, of course, you can
like the characteristics he has that you desire.
Of course. But that's what inspiration is.
Yeah, inspiration. Yeah.
Whenever you get inspired by things, it's just showing you who you really are as a person. But I mean, that's you. That's what I'm saying. Just be authentic to you. Follow the inspirations, but accept your limitations. Because at the end of the day, it's not really a limitation. It's just who you are.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the snowflake will be like, I wanted 27 fractals, but I only got 8. It's like, okay, but you're still a snowflake, bro. It's cool. It's all good. You're a snowflake. You know? Yeah.
Didn't I tell you that quote I read in a book? Aspire to be the person you envy.
Yeah, but
did I tell you that?
No, but that even in itself is like an allusion to who you really are. It's like, of course, aspire to be who you envy, but like who I envy is not who you envy. I don't even envy people actually. No.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't really envy anyone.
That's a terrible line.
No, but for some people, I'm sure that, I'm sure that rings true.
Of course, but there's levels to this game, right? So it's like, yeah, that one.
I just thought it was interesting.
No, for sure. But it's like, that's why I mean levels to it, because it's like, and then you find out more, and then you're going now, I don't really envy anyone. It's like, because envy is a bad thing. Like, I get inspired by a lot of people, but there's no negative outcome to the inspiration, because inspiration itself is just positive, So like, but even in that, so it's like, of course, aspire and aspire and inspire yourself based on other people, because they'll show you who you are. But the people you aspire to be and are inspired by are not the same people I get inspired or aspire to be. You know
Who inspires you most?
You.
Ah.
I'm just kidding. That was a great line, though.
Wait, are you kidding? That's rude if you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
You shouldn't be kidding.
All right, I'm not kidding. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, creatively, let me too. Creatively, I'd say who inspires me: Casey Neistat, Chase Jarvis, Joe Rogan's a big one. All these people that have taken life and then became who they were. You know why they're great? Because they themselves became who they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Joe Rogan wasn't like, I want to be Shaq. Joe Rogan's like, I'm just going to be the best Joe Rogan I can be.
And you really like people who like made it from nothing. Like
Hashtag
you
rebel.
like, like you
Hashtag
like that.
rebel.
You like that upward struggle kind of story.
But everybody loves that though. Everybody.
I know.
That's the American dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. But like you latch onto those people.
Of course, because it inspires me and fuels me to keep going. But it's like, but with those people, I'm not deluding myself. I'm not going like it's like Dave Chappelle. So he's like he's saying like his father was like, oh, don't be a comedian. That's like a dead end job. And he's like, Dad, if I can make as much money being a comedian as I can being a teacher, then didn't I succeed in life? And it's like, I'm not looking like I want to be a millionaire one day like Joe Rogan. That's like, all right, again.
Oh, he says that?
What? No,
he is a millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming he never talks about his finances, but what I'm saying is like, I never look at the outcome of Joe Rogan. I look at the enjoyment of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, if I think that I'm going to be a millionaire, then it's like, then the lamb thinks it's a lion.
Yeah. But
the lamb's just accepting the lamb. You know, it's like, I just like to create things. Yeah. What about you? Who inspires you? Me.
You.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, but in a lot of ways you really do.
Oh, okay. We weren't joking there. Oh.
No, in a lot of ways you do.
Oh, that's sweet. All right. Oh, you make me feel embarrassed.
Hello,
right.
listeners. He feels embarrassed.
All right, give me a different one other than me, because that's weird.
Why? Shouldn't I talk about how you inspire me?
No, because that's so narcissistic and freaking egoic.
No, it's not narcissistic if I'm saying it.
I guess, but then, like, I don't like false guruism. It's like...
No, okay.
No.
Slow your roll. I don't see you as a guru.
No. I know. But that's why every time anybody says something positive, not in like a self-sabotaging way, it's like, oh man, like, thanks for teaching me that thing. I'm like, yeah, man, I just learned something really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing with you.
But I think it's also important that you can take appreciation.
Oh, I appreciate it. But
No, but like that you can be like,
It's like,
no, that you
I
can
don't
be
need to
like,
hear this. This
yeah,
is
you're
awkward.
welcome.
What?
Like, no, I think it's important that, like, I don't know, to not shy away from compliments, because you do work really hard.
Yeah, but
and so when people say like, wow, you know, like I really look up to you in the way.
But
Okay, I don't
like-
want to say I look up to you because that
Alright,
sounds weird,
yeah.
but like,
You actually look down on me.
okay, just very slightly.
Yeah, High joke.
High joke.
All right. Continue.
No, I think it's important to understand what you do well, and when people notice that, to be accepting and appreciative of that. So when people are like, wow, BJ, like you really work so hard, and that's something that I want to do, like I think it's important that you're like thank you, because you do work hard.
No, you know my reply is whenever we're like, man, you work so hard, dude, I want to work hard too. I go, no shit, dog. Now get to work.
Yeah.
Like why
Well, I guess
are
you're
you
just-
why are you obsessing over me working hard? You should be working hard. Why are we talking about this? Go work
No.
hard.
Okay, so aggressive.
No, I know, but it's just like for me, it's just that's why I don't like to hear compliments, because it's like, why are you looking at me, dude? If you learned something from me, then you shouldn't be looking at me. I don't look at Casey Neistat and go, frig, man, Casey Neistat, you're so awesome. God, you work so hard. I go, damn, I should be working harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
And I think that's
I'm not validating the person. I'm validating the work.
right.
I don't know
yeah.
Casey. I don't. It's like I don't want to chill with him.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I
just
think
like
I think
his work.
I
It's
think
like,
for
that's cool, man.
both of us, the people that we look up to.
That's why I don't like
are
compliments
not-
though, because it's almost like you want to chill with me, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I feel like
Dude, I'm
the
busy,
people
dog.
the people
I don't
we
need to
look
be
up
chilled
to,
with.
it's not like we look up to them as human beings, but more like qualities that they possess that we want to bring out in ourselves.
Of
So
course,
we work
yeah.
hard towards that.
But I'm just saying that's why I don't like to hear nice things about myself.
That doesn't make sense.
No, because then it humanizes me, and it's like, dude, I shouldn't be a human to you. I should be a benchmark. You know, am I working hard? Am I enjoying life? You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think you should take the compliment too, because you do work hard.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, if you think I work hard, you should watch people I watch. Sometimes I'm like doing stuff, and I listen to Joe Rogan. He's like, I just worked out today. I'm like, damn, I didn't work out at all. Yo, damn. I just
Yeah, but you've been working for like 16 hours, like.
Yeah, but it's not really work. It's like playing.
But it is working.
Like right now, this is technically working. We're doing a podcast. But
This is working.
I'm just talking. That's all I'm doing.
Aw.
You know. All right. So, anyways, so
Just pulled a lady
who-
out of her car.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, so who inspires you? To go back to that, yeah. And why? What is it that they hold that inspires you so?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a hard question.
Actually, wait, sorry. We're gonna go back to you. I just want to throw this in because we already ended mine, and I want to throw this back in. You know who really inspires me a lot? Comedians, in terms of outlook, because I feel like comedians are like modern day philosophers. You know, when we talk about like philosophies and stuff, it's like they're the only ones outspoken enough to be like, hey, it's just a joke, man. They look at life objectively to make fun of life. You know, and in their looking objectively at life, they're able to analyze life in a philosophical way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you were saying inspiration. Who inspires you?
This is like a hard question. I don't know.
You just said me. So
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm the only one that inspires
no.
you. Holy,
Okay, no,
oh
definitely
friggin'
not.
God! If you're listening to
Okay.
this, I should be your guru right now.
Ew.
Send me money. Send me money.
What?
No.
Send you money?
Because that's what gurus do. False gurus. Send me money. I'll teach
Okay.
you. Teach you about life.
Okay. I admire some qualities of Sheryl Sandberg.
I don't know who that is.
The Lean In book.
I still don't know who that is.
I've told you about this. Remember?
Apple girl? Facebook girl.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What about her?
So, for people listening,
Mm-hmm.
Sheryl Sandberg, she wrote a book called Lean In. It's like very, very popular.
You can get it on Amazon.
You can get it wherever books are sold.
Yeah. Okay.
I just really loved her book. Like, so she got into the business world, like tech business world, years ago. She's probably in her late 40s, 50s
Oh, wow.
now.
Okay.
So she got in when she was young, and she was just like, I don't know, she really created a path for women
Okay.
in that space, and she just really talked about some of the things that women go through in the workplace.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really fascinating.
Okay.
And you know what was really interesting is before I read her book, I wouldn't have considered myself a feminist.
Okay.
Um,
What is a feminist?
okay, yeah, because
Maybe I'm a feminist.
I think you are, but in my definition,
In your eyes, yes. But again, pathologies, right?
No, but
your version, my
But
version.
okay, kind of like what she kind of, because I guess the feminism that we all encounter
Mm-hmm.
or that we often hear about is radical feminism, right? And I do not agree with this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's shaming men
Okay, yeah.
in
Well, that's pretty negative.
Yeah, exactly. And like I believe that feminism is just equality.
Okay.
Like it's treating people the same regardless of gender.
Okay.
But I guess before that, and in university and stuff, you just hear a lot about radical feminism where they're putting men down and shaming men. And that always bothered me, because why do you need to squash someone to feel good about yourself?
Because there's limited resources.
Right, but in like you want equality, but you think that the only way for you to get equality is to bring down men? No, that's stupid.
Sure. Okay.
Right? Like
well,
that.
there's no such thing as equality. I don't believe. I don't think equality, even striving for equality, creates inequality, because it's like now you have like quotas. That's unequal.
Okay, whatever.
It's about.
Is it equity? Isn't it equity? What's the other word? Equity.
Equity is like value.
Right. Isn't it judging someone based on how they work and how they perform?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
better.
that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not equality.
Okay. Well. Okay.
That's like the antithesis.
Okay.
of equality.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because one is socialism and one is capitalism. So in one.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
Regardless.
Okay.
I just mean
It's tangent.
treating men and women, like putting them on the same equal playing field.
Looking at them objectively. Is that what you're trying to say?
Just looking at them as anyone can do anything.
Yeah, no bias.
Anyone can do anything, that's it.
Yeah, of
You
course,
know?
yeah.
And I think that she really challenged the whole mother staying at home, watching the kids. Like, she really challenged that.
The paradigm, yeah.
Yeah, and just that stereotype of when you get pregnant, you have to quit your job and stay at home, raise your kids, even if that's not something you want to do.
Okay.
And that you can be very shamed if that's not something that you want to do.
Ooh, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, because that's just, and I think especially now, as women are taking bigger roles in the workplace, as they are learning to stand up for themselves and speak up, and that's kind of what her book's about. It's called Lean In,
Okay.
and it's talking about.
What does lean in mean?
So she kind of talks about like.
So was there a titular line?
Yeah, there definitely was.
Okay, so then she must have explained what lean in meant.
Yeah.
So
So
what is it?
just like you are sort of like you deserve a place at the table.
So lean into the table.
Yeah, like lean in, like pull up that chair, lean in, be part of that conversation. You are there, like you, because there's actually
sorry. I'm not laughing at you for that. I'm laughing at well, then she should have just called it pull up. That's like the timer.
Pull-ups.
Yeah. So she probably went, lean in's, her marketer's probably like, lean in's probably better.
Yeah.
And don't call it pull up.
Yeah, totally.
All right, sorry, continue.
That's funny.
Exactly. Well, if that was the meaning behind the name, then it's like,
Yeah.
pull up would have made more sense, but okay.
Pull-ups.
Yeah, pull ups. All right, continue.
Yeah, and she was saying like statistically, women in meetings that they should be a part of often like hold back
Okay.
or So it was just interesting. Like she had like she cited a lot of studies. Like it felt very well researched, which is always something that I appreciate in books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just
So you admire her for those
I
qualities?
admire her for, what did you say?
You admire her for those qualities, that she stuck up for oppression by...
Yeah. And I guess that
she's not
because
a radical feminist. She's not trying to like shame anyone.
yeah, she definitely wasn't shaming anyone. And I guess it also provided me with a really interesting perspective. Because I've never felt in a professional setting, I guess. Or even, I don't know, I guess my experiences as a woman, I haven't felt particularly discriminated against based on my gender.
So okay. So you've never felt that, correct? You just said that? So that's what was revolutionary about it. You never felt it, so it's great to hear.
Hold on, wait, let me explain this.
Okay.
I think there's... How do I explain this? No.
Okay.
Wait, you can't explain this.
No, I'm just going to go to my point.
No.
So,
No, it's just, like, thinking about it, I haven't in my life, like, going through school, like, I always felt like she talks about her being in university.
Okay.
And the teachers, like, just calling on the men, or, like, being more favorable towards the men, or subtly putting women down.
Can I
hold on, and I feel like that hasn't like, I guess if any, like, I just, or maybe I didn't notice, you know, like people would be like, oh wow, like, you know, like you work hard or you go get it, but like I've never, and I think she started to consider those things. I mean, not just that alone, but on top of a bunch of other things, she saw that as discrimination.
Okay.
Whereas I just didn't.
Okay.
Because I didn't have all the other compounding experiences that she did. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say, I really appreciated her book because it gave me a new lens into what it means to be a feminist and the problem that a lot of women are still facing. And I've never worked in the high-tech industry.
Okay, so
right? So that's probably...
That's my point.
Right, so I don't have that experience because I work in...
Food.
So it's like
that's
health food.
That's a pretty neutral territory. I'd say it's more feminine than masculine.
My industry?
Food. Yeah.
Every single business owner, almost every single small business owner in my industry is a female.
Yeah. So then if I entered in that, and then would it be the same thing if I was like, you know what, this is gender discrimination. You're not focusing on me because this is a woman dominated industry. Would I have the opportunity to say that as well?
I don't know, because I don't want to speak for the experience of a man. For sure. I don't know.
All I'm saying is if you actually look at it, well, actually now I'm like illuminating myself as well as it's coming out, but if you look at the way industrialization started, women were spent at home, right? It was the men who were working, and then all that time it created a men's club. So you were having like male dominated industries. It wasn't until later that women finally entered into the field. So things like tech and stuff, it's like, of course you're going to have like women inequality because you weren't there in the beginning. If it was like,
did you apologize to the table for spitting on it?
Yeah, I apologize to the table. I was going off. So like let's say we have half humans. So all of a sudden we, like in a fantasy world, we have half humans where it's like half animal, half human, okay? And then they try to enter the workforce, and then we're like, oh, inequality because you don't hire any half humans, you're biased towards us. It's like, yeah, man, we've been focusing first on males, now we're focusing on women, now we gotta focus on half humans.
I understand.
I personally don't think that, of course, I think really that inequality and this like whole gender like feminism thing, it's more about like, if you look at just how it's been built, you're kind of subconsciously biased towards those things. Like when I was in university taking computer science in the beginning, there was like 0 women. It was too difficult. It was like it's just not their field. No, sorry,
take
sorry.
a sit.
All right, sorry.
Take a sit. I was gonna say take a seat.
All right.
Take a step back.
Sorry. I didn't
It's
mean-
not too
No,
difficult.
You're right. No. Sorry. It wasn't
right.
too difficult. You're right. It wasn't too difficult.
They're just
but
not interested in that.
I meant more so like, yeah, they weren't interested in it. It was like one of the things where like, oh, it's just not something I would wanna, because like in order to do engineering, it's like very male dominated mathematics and all that stuff, and you have to like dedicate yourself. It's like
Wait, but hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there
Okay.
because this is no.
All right, no. what I'm trying to say is like, it's men leaned more into that industry.
Right.
And now that women are catching up, they're saying it's like,
You said it's like it's tough. You have to dedicate
okay,
yourself.
fine. I take that.
And
back.
I feel like
I take it back. I'm wrong.
I feel like women can do
Yep.
that.
All right, you're right. 100%. I take that back. I was wrong. But what I'm saying is that it's a male dominated industry. And
Right.
because of that, it makes it like there's going to be the subconscious bias. Of course, the university professor is going to be like, oh, like Jimmy over Jane, because like he's not thinking in his head scorecard. He's just thinking, well, let me just answer this bloody question.
No, but I don't think that's the issue. It's not just that,
Okay.
right? It's several layers.
Okay.
So, again, I don't have this experience, but I just found it very fascinating to read her book and learn about her experiences.
No, but what I'm saying is I have had the experience of sitting through class and be like, well, there's no women in here. So it's like so that's where my bias interpretation is coming from. It's like, yeah, of course she's like writing this book about inequality because she experienced it in a male dominated industry. It's like I'm sure the UFC women fighters are going to come out with books like, oh, women inequality, you should put on
Right,
more
but-
fights with like women.
Okay,
It's like,
but
there's a male-dominated
hold
sport
on,
for so
hold
long.
on.
Yeah.
As long as the book is not an attack against men and it's constructive and it's approaching these issues from a positive point of view,
I'm not saying the
I
book's
want
wrong.
that perspective.
Oh, for sure.
I want to know about that.
100%. I'm not saying the book's wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't even read the book.
Yeah, I
can't say
know.
it's wrong if I didn't
You're
read the
like
book.
talking shit, and it's like, well,
No.
you haven't even read it.
No. I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about the principle behind feminism. It's like, is it really inequality, or is it just bias because of history?
It's. I think
Can't be one
we
or the
just
other.
we have to make a conscious effort
Yeah.
to catch up.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
as time goes on, obviously, more and more, the friggin' professor's gonna be like, oh, there's more women in this class, and then he's slowly gonna decrease his bias. It's almost like saying we've built up habitual patterns, and you're telling them to like become aware of their habitual
Yeah.
patterns. They don't even know that they have habitual patterns.
Right, but I think that's where you have to critically look at yourself and be
For
like,
sure.
what are my habits?
Exactly,
What
yeah,
are the
100%,
patterns
100%,
here?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then that's how change is made.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
And it's like you definitely are feminism. We're not radical feminists.
No.
But I think, honestly, almost everyone's a feminist.
I think it's an unbiased opinion. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a feminist. I'd just say I hold an unbiased opinion. It's just like
No, how
that's-
can you have an unbiased
All right,
opinion?
you're right. Pathology, blah, blah, blah. Yes, of course, yes. Habitual patterns, yes. You're right.
Yes.
But what I'm
Yes,
saying
yes.
is I'm trying to take an objective, observing approach to this. And it's like objectively, like every time we talk about things, I'm not putting any subjective, well, I guess I am.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. But I'm trying my best to keep it as mathematical as possible. Because to me, if you look at it like mathematics is unbiased. It's like either it's yes or no. You can't get half answers. All those teachers giving like half marks for like almost getting the answer right. It's like, okay, good luck telling that to the astronaut who's going to fly out into space and then gets the rocket blown up
Okay,
because your
that's kinda
mathematics
different.
wrong. No, I'm saying, but if you look at life mathematically, then you're objective.
No, you're not. Nobody is objective.
You can try to be objective.
Right.
Yeah.
You can make a conscious effort to be objective.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm saying.
still, all of your experiences make you who you are.
Of course, they're subjective.
And they are subjective.
Pathology, yeah.
So you can never have a truly objective
Agreed,
opinion.
because it's perspective.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying it's like that's why I choose not to like involve myself in any like we have this thing right now, meditation for the next generation, right? And it's like it's all about pushing meditation for the next generation because it makes you more aware and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I only do that because I personally think meditation's great, and if you accept us into the school and then we could show you the program, then that's great. But like I'm not being an activist about it. Like I'm not protesting that people should learn meditation in order to awaken themselves and become more consciously aware of their habits, you know? But that's objective. That's mathematical. It's like, I'm only focusing on myself, you know? Yeah. It's a good rant about how pathology is a big thing in society. You want to wrap this up?
Yeah.
All right,
So I have
cool.
a presentation tomorrow.
Okay. Oh. Good luck on the presentation tomorrow.
Thanks.
So I like to ask final thoughts. If I just started doing this because it makes me laugh every time I ask, "What's your final thought?" It's like so silly. If you were gonna die tomorrow, what would you tell? If you could, I got it. If you were gonna die tomorrow, if it was your last day, and you could say one thing, or a multitude of things. You've got this one open forum at this moment to tell people what they should learn about life. What would it be, from your perspective?
Probably find what makes you happy and figure out a way to do that.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. That's nice.
Thank you.
That's nice. That's where you asked me the same question.
Oh, okay. Sorry. If you were going to die tomorrow and this was your last day on Earth, what would you tell the people?
I would tell him that you're going to die. Probably sooner than you think. So make the most of your time. Because death is always prevalent.
I think mine was nicer.
I know, but they were attacking the same thing. you know what's pretty ridiculous? If you can't objectively look at your unimportant important life, then, as I know it's paradoxical, you're unimportant because you're like everyone else, but you're important because you're a unique snowflake. So if you can't objectively look at your unimportantly important life, then it's like, dude, you're just afraid of something. I said it negatively. Is it really negative, or is it like how it is?
It's a bit like,
morose?
yeah, it's a bit like gloomy.
Yeah, because freaking, if you can't see the sunshine in the rain, then your life is going to be pretty rainy. Yeah, because life is about rain. So you gotta see the sunshine in the cloud. But
All right, thanks for listening.
All right, how's it going? All right, you think you'll ever come back?
Well, I live here, so probably.
All right, cool. I'm sure that was a great podcast. Till next time, remember that you're dying. And
Subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Do we say that?
Patreon. I always like to just like, well, right now I'm just like being not negative. I'm being like the little what do you call that? Where it's like you're being like the little devil. I just want to keep reminding people that they're gonna die, because that's so important. That's what the samurai believed in.
Are you a samurai?
In my mind. Anyways, all right, we're rambling now. Remember, you're gonna die, and find out something you love, according to Tara. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.